Look at that garden flourish, y'all. We're at the neighbors. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. It's been a minute since I gave you an update of everything that I'm growing over here at the neighbors. I only have a few minutes before I have a flight to catch in the morning, and I only have a few minutes tonight. And I want to show you how each and every one of the beds are doing over here at the neighbors. For those who don't know, that's my neighbor's house right back there, and I grow all of the food for them in their garden space. Now, this has been their garden space for as long as I can remember. So for at least 18 years, y'all, they've had a garden over here. But as they've begun to age, they can't do all of this anymore, but they can still enjoy the fruits of my labor for them. So let me show you all the different beds and how they're doing. And I haven't been over here myself in probably about a week, but everything's coming in. So let me show it to you. Let me start by panning the whole area. That's going to be our first step, so you can see everything, all the beds. There's a total of 12 beds, I believe, in all. I've forgotten. And we have 2 GreenStalks, one there and one over there. So we will do the GreenStalks last. I can't wait to see those. But let's start over here. These are all beans. These are different types of green beans, and I believe dragon tongue beans in here. They've broken the ground, they've come up, and there's only a few spots that are missing any beans, and we use the square foot garden method to plant this bed. And in the back corner over there, y'all, we got some onion that are getting very happy over there. Now this area right here, let's see if I can show you, has a tree right there. So there is a little bit of shade on this side over here. It's late in the day and my garden's over there, and the sun is starting to work its way down that way. So there's still plenty of sun on these beds. So they're getting more than a full day's worth of sun. So we can still say full sun is what I'm trying to say. So we have a few celery plants right here that are coming in. I started out with 5, I believe, and they're coming in nicely, but there's still 4 coming in. I have one of my Chinese cabbage that went straight to seed there, but the other 3 are doing, oh, nope, that one's gone to seed too. Right in the top of it there, you can see it's going to seed. So y'all, Chinese cabbage might be done for the year. It just might not happen. All of this right here are collard greens, so we're going to have plenty of collard greens. Have some tomato plants growing behind it here. We're using our mighty crops to trellis them. And I need to start working the mighty crop, or the plants, into the mighty crop. There we go. So it can grow up through this one, and then it'll go to this one and on up to the one here at the very top. So that'll be the process for those tomato plants. I have red onion growing here, and they are starting to bulb up. Kohlrabi on the back side there. Here we have lots and lots of kale, cabbage. That's actually looking pretty good. I expected the worms to have taken these over, but they're looking really good. And then we have Brussels sprouts. That's a red burgundy Brussels sprout. And this right here was a Long Island Brussels sprout that I thought died. But look, y'all, it says you can't get rid of me that fast. Moving on over, we got cucumbers growing up here. Looks like we lost one right here in the center. So I will be adding a cucumber to that spot. But they're starting to take hold. You see, it's grabbed on and says, let me climb. So it's going to start climbing up the trellis here. And then we have 2 squash plants to have all of the rest of this bed to do what they want to do with. Same thing on this bed here. We have the 2 squash plants, And then behind it are the tomato plants. And there are blooms on the tomato plants now, so that's good. Now, while I'm back here, I might as well clean up a few things, right? So they are already starting to grow up and in between the little trellising system that we have for it. I'm going to spin on around here. Y'all, these are my rape greens, the ones that I'm trying to bring back the past as a little girl that I'm getting to enjoy. There are a ton of rape greens in here. Now, they're probably all planted way too close together, but that's all right, y'all. That's all right. We are going to pick those rape greens and we're going to enjoy them. I just need it to stay cool just a little bit longer. And as wet as it's been, hopefully we can get a harvest off of that. In addition to that, I have rosemary growing up in this bed, and it volunteered in the bed. But there's rosemary growing with the rape greens. Y'all, look at that. Interesting. So I have a squash here. I have a squash over there. The last time I did this video, y'all, I thought there was one pepper over here, but that sure does look like two peppers. So now my peppers are multiplying. Y'all, I don't know. I don't remember what I planted. I was trying to get it in, and I was trying to get it in fast, but we got two peppers in this bed. And in the back corner, we got some mustard. And there's the mustard growing back there. So if it gets any larger, we'll be able to add it to the other mustard greens. More squash in this bed here. Tomatoes behind it. The tomatoes got lots and lots of blooms on it, so they're very happy and growing nicely. More squash back here. And these tomatoes, we need to get trellising. This has gotten very large. So we need to kind of work this tomato plant in because I don't have my clips. So I'm pulling it back this way, and then it'll grow up, and then we'll push it back that way, and it'll grow up some more until I can get some clips. And there is a tomato on this plant. So we do have tomatoes coming in. We have potatoes back here, and one of them's above the ground and has been eaten off of. But we have flowers, which means potatoes are below the ground. And they look healthy, and they've been in for over 60 days at this point, so they should be good. And in the very back here, we have more cucumbers. And they are starting to climb. This little thing right here will grab on, and that'll start climbing. And back here is a tree. So we don't want the tree. But that is an okra right there. Another okra right there. Okra. There's another little okra right there, but I believe the potatoes are going to just shade those out. So until I remove the potatoes, I don't think okra has much of a chance. Over here, I have okra growing in the back. So there's, I think, 2 different varieties growing there. I could be wrong, but there's okra. And the rest of this bed is all carrots. And they did break the ground. I can see them coming up. They're very small, but they are there. The carrots are there. And in the front, y'all, this is supposed to be onion, but these are some of the sorriest looking onion I'm growing anywhere, I believe. So the onion's not too happy. But for the most part, y'all, the beds look good. And this bed is just full of spring onion and flowers. I'm not personally growing anything in this space here. Now, I never talked about this, y'all, but my neighbor has herbs as part of the natural landscape. In addition to all of these flowers, because these will all bloom, they're already starting to bloom here. In addition to all of these flowers, There's also thyme. I think that's thyme. I think that's not rosemary, but sage. And there's some other herbs in there that I probably just don't know the names of. All right, y'all. This is my GreenStalk. I'm really happy about this GreenStalk, and this is the first time for my neighbor that I've done a GreenStalk full of nothing but dwarf tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant. And so this is a 4-tier original GreenStalk. So let's see how it's doing. So in the very top, we have micro dwarf, not just dwarf, but micro dwarf tomatoes in the very top. And then all of the rest of the tomatoes are some type of dwarf tomato, which means they're not going to get much bigger than 2 feet tall, if that. Peppers, is a variety of different peppers in there. We do have blooms. And from a pepper standpoint, the peppers are doing pretty good as well. So we got some blooms getting ready to come in there. And that's 1 eggplant, and I know there's at least 2 or 3 more in here. So it's looking good. I'm gonna have to get some trellising over here soon to make sure that everything's growing well. There's another eggplant down there and another one right there. And a tree. Now we're going to head over to the other GreenStalk that I have growing in this space, but this GreenStalk is all leaf planters. In other words, they're only 7-inch deep pockets on this GreenStalk. And wow, y'all, this thing is full. It's full, y'all. Wow. Oh man, I haven't been over here in a while, but y'all, let's see if I can try to show you. So these are all dragon tongue beans. They're kind of getting mixed in the flowers a little bit here, but all of the beans in here are dragon tongue beans, and that's what's in the bottom tier. The next tier up was supposed to be lettuce from seeds, but I don't think they made it. I don't think any of them made it, but the dragon tongue did well. It looks like in all the pockets. But then I did plant lettuce from transplants, and I can see that my neighbor's been harvesting from there, and they're looking good. Some of them looking a little ragged as well, so it's not perfect, but they're looking good for the most part. We got leaf lettuce, red lettuce, iceberg lettuce is in here as well. And in the very top, we have radish that no one's eating. But these are all radish up here. That right there, that looks like a turnip. That don't look like radish to me. And it was supposed to be spinach on the backside, but it's not. Boy, that thing is humongous, as my daughter used to say when she was little. But the radish is going to seed. But isn't this beautiful? Even though some things are spent, there are still things coming in that are blooming and still things that are ripe for the picking today. Well, y'all, that's it. That's everything that I've planted over at the neighbors and that I'm taking care of for the neighbor. Now, I got some work I'm going to have to get into out here in the next week or so when I get back from my trip, so we can make sure that this garden continues to grow and give us a great harvest in the days to come. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications and liking the videos as well. And please share with your family and friends. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you hang out at Kim's Cozy Corner with me. Bye.